Welcome back, everybody. This week, we're going to conclude season 1 with talking about the 4 principles and how they can be incorporated into your everyday life. And you can really use this as your living toolkit.
What's so fun to me about this episode is that it's coming out the last week of the year. And it's so cool that we didn't plan that. We didn't plan for your last episode of the season to come out the last week of the year. It's not a surprise to the universe or God or whatever, probably, because it's so fitting for you that it just worked out that way. And so I'm really excited to wrap and put a bow on everything that we've been talking about for the last 12 weeks. And I'm also really excited about where we go from here and to dive deeper into some of these things like frequency or living a simplistic life. And I think the simplicity episodes were my favorite because it's the area I need to improve in most. And I just think that this is going to be such a good opportunity for people to go back and think about all the different things that they've learned and the takeaways. So just talk us through, in case someone is just tuning in for the first time, explain R.I.S.E and kind of give us, that end of the year recap of what you've walked us through all season.
Well, the R.I.S.E, which is R.I.S.E, for me, it's a living toolkit. It's a living toolkit on how to live a better life. And really, you're the expert on your life. So these are just guiding principles. So it's interesting because I started with 16, it went down to 8, and now there are 4. And I really feel like these 4 really are, to me, they're the ones that feel most connected. And I really feel they anchor you back to yourself. And they help you really stay connected to your inner guide and your own inner power. So again, and there are 4 principles. The R stands for reflection. The I is for intention. The S is for simplicity. And the E is for enjoyment. So really, it's the best way for you to stay connected to yourself on your path to really living a better life.
When we first started talking about this, you had to keep reminding me that these aren't steps. This isn't like you do one level and then you go to the next level, or like you have to do 1, 2, and 3 every day, because it at a glance could seem overwhelming. So can you just clarify for our listeners that these principles are not a super structured, like robotic thing that you're implementing into your life? It's not a 1, 2, and 3. It's like you said, tools. These are tools. Some days you need this tool, and a different day you might need that tool. And on some days you might need all 4, but you're not encouraging people to like do A through Z every single day.
Absolutely. So the R.I.S.E principles, they're not linear. It's not a step-by-step process. Like you do steps 1 through 4 and then you're good. You made it. You made it to the top of the mountain and now you've got it all figured out. Because again, this is not how life works. So we're going to be going through all those 4 principles in our daily life. And you don't have to use all of them every day. If you feel like, today I feel like setting an intention. How do I want to feel throughout my day? Then you focus on that principle for that day. If on the weekend you're feeling adventurous and you want to clear some stuff from your life, then you can sit with simplicity for that weekend. But these are fluid, so you're constantly going in and out of them. And they're really meant, again, to guide you through life and towards this path that you're on, that we're all on, really. And it really helps you access your higher self. Again, we're all walking around with our ego, our earth guides. Earth guide only, right? That's what ego stands for. That's what my spiritual teacher, Wayne Dyer, says. But we have another side, and it's this higher self. So these 4 principles really help you get to that higher place that really is more connected to your own true nature and what you really are seeking in this life. So I think the more we stay connected to ourselves, the more we're able to access what we want out of life. So all these principles, they're just there to guide you. If you look at it as a living toolkit, then this is the toolkit you need on your journey. These 4 principles.
I love that. Now, if someone has been listening and they hear the 4 principles and they think, oof, that one doesn't sound great. Is one better than the other? Like if someone is going to start with just R, just I, just S, or just E, where do you recommend that someone start? Like if someone has no spiritual or even just like general practices that they're doing already, I'm really thinking of myself. Like I'm not a very disciplined person. And so thinking about implementing these 4 different things, it just feels like a lot. So if I'm going to start with one, which one should I start with?
Ooh, again, I think you have to look at spirituality as a buffet, right? You can't take all of it, and not all of it is going to settle well with you, right? You're not going to eat that entire buffet because you're going to get sick. Or like you said, something's just not going to feel good to you or feel aligned with you. And this is the beauty of these principles is you can take one or leave one. You take what you need and the rest you can toss out. There are some people that feel really uncomfortable with simplicity. They're very attached to their things. So they're like, Janel, no thanks. I don't want to simplify my life. And that's okay. Some people can't reflect. They can't meditate. I'm not going to force you to meditate. That's on you. So if you don't want to do that one, that's fine. Some people might align more with intention. They're like, I could see myself every day waking up and going, what do I want to fulfill today? That seems more manageable to someone. The E for enjoyment, someone could say, today I could carve out time to enjoy something today, a simple pleasure. Maybe it's my favorite ice cream. Maybe it's lighting my favorite candle at night that will bring me some calm and some peace. So it really is just about you seeing what works for you and your life. We all lead such different lives. So what will fit into a mom's schedule, right? What will fit into another person's schedule who's really busy? We're all in a hurried state. So it's really just about you seeing which of these principles align with your life. And again, they're so fluid and you're on a growth journey. So one principle may sit well with you in this time. And then another one, maybe in a few years, you'll be like, I never thought I could sit down and meditate, but now I can. So I just want people to remember that you don't have to take all of it. And some things just will resonate more with others. In the next couple of years, I truly believe, just because it happened with me, and even with some of my clients that I've worked closely with, they have found much more peace because they are following their inner guide. They are listening to themselves. They're no longer connected to outside voices influencing their decisions. If anything, these 4 principles help you to stay deeply connected to yourself. So you're constantly listening to yourself and what you want out of life. So now you make decisions from an empowered place because you trust yourself. You're doing these 4 things continuously, and not every day, but continuously. You're going back to them and they're helping you just to stay on your path, the path that feels right for you. So you make decisions from this place.
When you make decisions from that place instead of from the gut, which like our intuition's real and it can be right most of the time. However, when you make a decision and you're in a place of calm and confidence and you've been reflecting and you've been, decluttering your calendar and different things like that, I feel like you just have so much more confidence in yourself. I think that insecurities tend to fall away with that because you're so present with who you are versus worrying about all the things that you're not or all the other things that you're comparing yourself to. And that's the biggest thing that I think I've seen since learning these principles. It's just like, I'm just happy for everyone else and I feel way less competitive. It's just about me and where I'm at. And so I thank you for that. I thank you for kind of helping me see that everything I need is already here. I don't need all these other things. Like I just need to look within.
Well, one of my spiritual teachers tells me all the time, Janel, stay in your lane. And those words are so powerful. But all of these principles that I've adopted over the years, they've helped me to stay in my lane. And you can even refer it back to the Wizard of Oz story, the Wicked story, whatever we're into right now. It's Dorothy had it all along, right? She had the power. It was just that it needed to be revealed on her journey. And she really connected to herself in the end, right? Because when we know ourselves, we're always home. And that's the truth. The more you stay connected to yourself, you feel good. You feel empowered. You feel at peace. You're not comparing yourself because you're pretty happy with the way your journey's going. As we approach the new year, it's always good to take an inventory about where you're at. And you gotta look within. So we're wrapping up the year. This is a good time to reflect, which is the first principle. You really have to take a look at the year and see what worked for you, what didn't. Sit with moments of maybe grief, maybe sadness, and maybe where the growth was this year for you. So you have to be able to reflect. You have to be able to reflect on the year at least. Maybe we can't reflect on our whole life. That's overwhelming, but we can definitely take a look at this year and see what our blind spots were, see where we can improve, because there's always room for that. There's always room for growth. And what perfect time of the year than the end of year to look at how do I want things to look next year? So I believe these principles will guide you and help you make a huge leap in your life. If anything, just bring you more peace and alignment into what you want. And intention, which is the I, how do you want to intend to feel next year? Do you want to feel good? Do you want to feel healthy? Do you want to feel healed? What are the feelings you want to put out there for next year?
I want to feel rested.
Yes.
I think I'm like overworking myself. I just want to feel rested and calm.
But see, you even saying that is putting it out to the universe. And so guess what? You're going to attract probably moments where you can decompress, moments of quiet, moments of true rest. You just said it. I think when we say it out loud, it gets put out there. You send that frequency out to the universe. That's what you want. So now things just have to kind of align. And then with simplicity, listen, spring cleaning's coming up, right? Or in the year, next year. You can definitely look at the stuff you have that's just weighing you down and that's not making space for the things that matter, which really are the people that you live with. It's not about the stuff. It's not about your calendar clutter. It's not about your digital stuff. It's really about people. That's why we clear space. And then the E, enjoyment, you are meant to enjoy your life. So carve out moments next year that you can really play, have fun, and enjoy the simple things out of life. And every day, just be in awe of the fact that you're living and you're enjoying every little moment around you and being grateful for that. So all of these things will hopefully elevate your year and help you to stay truly connected to your power.
Do you have a little homework assignment for us?
Oh my gosh. My homework for you and everybody and myself is get your journal out or get your notes app out or just say it out loud. Like, what is it that you want next year? Like, what is it? Like, and feel into it. You know, I would say pick like 3 words that you want next year. Like 3 words that seems manageable. Like, I want more peace next year. I want to have more fun. You know, I want to connect. Like, those are 3, let's say, and really focus on those 3 and live your life. Hopefully starting January 1st, if things don't fill into those 3 buckets, then they're out. Maybe that'll help you make decisions that are more aligned, again, with what you want. So if it's not going to bring peace to my life, I'm probably going to have to say no to that. If it's not going to be fun, I may want to say no to as many things that are not aligned with that. Some things we can't avoid, right? There's meetings, there's obligations we have, of course, but we can go into an attitude of like, I'm going to make this fun.
I think we underestimate how much we can avoid. Like, I really think, at least for myself, I say yes to a lot of things because of I feel obligated to like that person, or like I need to be a good friend. You know, I need to reach out to them, or I need to say yes because I haven't been a good friend. I've been, focusing on myself. And sometimes we have to be okay with just letting our friends know, like, hey, I'm in a season of I'm a little depleted and I need to refill. And that means me staying home more. Mm-hmm. And like, give yourself time to be a homebody for a few weeks, not forever. But I think like for me, part of the reason why I feel so tired is because I have a hard time saying no, not to like just work things, but to social things and to friend things. And Now, if those friend things are building you up, and we've talked about this,
Right.
that's different. Like if you're being fueled by being with your girlfriends, that's totally different. If it's anything that you're like, or afterwards you're like, I'm glad that's over. Get it out, cut it out. Like make a decision going in. That's a decision I'm making. I won't tell anyone else what to do. That's a decision I'm making for myself in this new year. I'm going to be really, really selfish about my time. I have to be.
And the beautiful thing about these principles is you do start to feel less guilty because you're basically just saying, I'm listening to myself. I'm listening to my body. I'm listening to what I need. And it's not being selfish in the slightest, because you need to think about yourself first, because you need to be your best self when you show up with your family. So I don't think that's being selfish at all. And these principles have helped me in my life because I don't feel that twinge of guilt I used to feel every time I would say no to something, or I did something that I didn't want to do, or was forced into something. I don't feel like that anymore. And I feel the people in my life that really love me, they understand, and they're understanding more about what I need. I need a lot of rest and recovery, more than the average person, but I've had to honor that about myself and be okay with that. And the interesting thing is we all have different energetic systems. Mine just happens to be on the slower side. I need a lot of rest. I need a lot of recovery. So I need to build that in for the next year. I need to continue to do that. I think I did a pretty good job of doing that this year, but I could even do better and really honor myself. But all of these principles, again, they help you stay connected to yourself, because we are too concerned with outside noise. So these 4 principles, they just help you live from a more empowered place. That's really what it comes down to. So as we look ahead to the new year, I really want to challenge you to at least try each of these principles and adopting them into your life and see how it feels. If you can only do one, that's great. But I do believe even one of these principles will make a huge shift in your life, in your overall energy, and your overall well-being. So I encourage you to try it. And I'm on the journey with you. I'm still on the journey. I bounce from all 4 principles every week. There are some I'm more connected to than others, but I'm on the journey with you. We're on it together, you guys. This is like the long haul, and we need to travel with some really good tools here to guide us. So I encourage you to try it. Thank you for joining me this season. Stay tuned for more. It's going to get even better. Wishing you all a wonderful new year.